Hello students, now we are in question number 26. So before we start the video, let me tell you that the PDF that I have sent before is wrong. In fact, here in this section, it is wrong. Where, yes, here in this section, okay. So I'll be sending you the corrected PDF, okay. So just go through that. Okay, so let us start with this video. So we know these entries, okay. This is the entry for application money that has been received. After that, we will transfer the application money to equity share capital account. Then share allotment money will be due. After that, we will receive the allotment money. Okay, so don't worry about the SPR. Okay, on time of share forfeiture, because allotment this with allotment money we are already receiving SPR. Okay, so don't worry about this SPR when you forfeit the number of shares. Anyway, now let us move on to fifth entry. Here, this share first and final call money has been due. Okay, so when this money was due and on time of payment, 100 number of shares they failed to make the payment. Okay, so 3,500 is appearing as your call scenario. Okay, so after that we have to pass the entry for forfeiture. So 100 number of shares they failed to make the payment and rupees 100 has been called up. Okay, so call scenario is 3,500. So what this 10,000 minus 3,500, 6,500 is the amount for share forfeiture. And remember this represents for 100 number of shares. Okay, so we will now reissue the number of shares. Okay, which is only 60. Okay, so this number is uh, this amount 6,500 is for 100 number of shares. So we have to see what is the amount for 60 forfeited shares. So let us go here and we have this 3,900. Okay, so for 60 number of shares it is 3,900. Okay, so 3,900 minus 600 is 3,300. So this 3,300 is the profit on reissue. Okay, let us just minimize this for a bit. Okay, so maybe the lines are now okay. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. So from 6,500, 3,900 has been already adjusted. Okay, so remaining amount is 2,600. Okay, so keep this amount in mind, 2,600 for a time. Okay, because we have to make the adjustment with this amount also afterwards. Okay, so when we prepare the balance sheet, this is your format. Okay, always and always remember to write extracted. Okay, so don't worry about the amounts, because we prepare notes to accounts, then we come to write then we come to know what is the amount here and then we write here. Okay, so this is your main head, equity and liabilities. Under this main head we write the subheads, that is shareholders funds. So under this shareholders funds, two items will appear, that is share capital and reserves and surplus. So for share capital you give note number 1, and for reserves and surplus you give note number 2. Why reserves and surplus? Because we have SPR in this particular question and we have capital reserve also. Okay, so let us go to notes to accounts. Now in notes to accounts you can see number 1 share capital, and it has three categories: authorized capital, issued capital, and subscribed capital. So authorized capital, we don't know what is the authorized number of shares, so we just write question mark, or in place of question mark you can give any kind of signs here. Okay, just give dash or whatever you want to write here. Anyway, now issued number of shares is 12,000. Okay, so you write 12 lakh here. Okay, but the public they applied for 10,000 number of shares. Okay, public they applied for 10,000 number of shares. So you have to write it here. But we are not writing 10,000 number of shares, but we are writing 9,960. So what is the problem here? What is happening? Let me take you to this calculator. Now let me show you this thing. What happened? Okay. Maybe because of many things loaded here. This machine is running very slow. Anyway, so uh, we had 10,000 number of shares, okay, out of which 100 shares were forfeited, and the amount it became 9,900. Okay, we had, again I'm repeating, where is that? Okay, so we had received the application for 10,000 number of shares, okay, out of which 100 shares were forfeited. Okay, so out of 100 number of shares, we issued 60 number of shares. So what is the exact number of shares that we have in our hand? That is 9,960. So this is how you get the amount 9960. Okay. So 9960 into 100 will be 9,96,000. Okay. And we have this balance also. This balance is actually from uh, the remaining, okay, 40 number of shares. This 2600. Okay. So this is actually representing this amount 2600. It actually represents that missing 40 number of shares. Okay, here you can see 40 is missing. Okay, 40 equity shares are missing, right? So this 40 number of shares are being represented by this amount 2600. That's why we are adding up here. Okay, and it should be 998,600. And we have capital reserve. You can see the final entry or the last entry 3,300 for capital reserve, and for SPR we can see the third entry. Here we have 1 lakh, so 1 lakh plus 3,300 will be 1 lakh 3,300. Now we come to know what are the amounts here. Okay, 998,600 for this thing share capital, and for reserves and surplus we have 1 lakh 3,300. So once we come to know the amounts, please write it up here. Okay, you can write the total also. Okay, so this is your question number 26.